Just through the rainbow, from the world we know lies Fairytopia.
Welcome back, gorgeous people. The Fairytopia customs have become a series on this channel, and I couldn't be more excited about it. This is for all the Enchantress stands out there. Now, all the people who voted for Nori on the last Alina video, this will serve as an appetizer for them because she will soon be joining the club as well. Now, there are two versions of the Enchantress, the first movie version and the third movie version. I want to make my version in a way that reflects both, but mostly lean towards the Magic of the Rainbow version since she is a bit more fancier in that one. So I'll be using this Corduroy Cool Barbie from 1999. The previous owner gave her a beautiful haircut though. For materials, I have this light blue satin, a grayish blue tulle for the lining, and some white chiffon which I will dye yellow. I have made the patterns. I'll roughly cut out the shapes which I will dye with acrylics later. First, I will dye the chiffon. I'm boiling some water and I have a bit of a bigger than required tub thingy which I'll use to make the dye in. I add some yellow cotton dye powder in the boiling water, then I'm just dunking in the chiffon in and out. Then I add some salt in it to get a fresh looking color that will stay. So I did many takes to ombre dye the blue satin. I have fabric softener water and a blue watered down acrylic. I first wet the midsection of the fabric and then with a soft and thick brush I paint the edges, blending it into the wet area to get a smoother looking transition. The result came out pretty, but I wanted the top part to be a bit more darker, so I did the same process on the top area and it gave me a really seamless ombre effect. Now I start working on the smaller elements. First up are the leaf-shaped petals for the collar, the waistline, the tiny ones for the bodice top area. I sandwiched 2 layers of blue organza with WS fabric, just like I did for my Odette redesign. Then I draw the shapes and cut them out precisely. I made a tad bit more than I needed, just so you know I don't run out of them. After cutting them all, for the collar ones, I'll run this embroidery coiled wire through them so they can become bendable. I stretch this coil and it becomes a long wire, and it is very helpful in small scale things like these that need some movement, you know. After that's done, I'll paint all the petals / sleeves. The waist ones are totally from the third movie. The collar was lighter in the first one, but I'm going with the third movie color scheme for these. I paint the edges darker and the mids lighter for the waistline petals. These will get more lighter paint in the middle as we go. The collar I'll just paint with 1 tone of blue watered down acrylic. So for the gold belt, I first made one with a wire, but it was thicker and the color, I just couldn't like it for the Enchantress. So I'm now using this thick embroidery gold metallic thread. It's very malleable, but I use super glue once I shape it, so then the shape stays. It was a lot of delicate work and this took more time than I anticipated, but honestly I'm really happy with how this turned out and that I abandoned the ugly one that I made first. I also made the arm cuffs following the exact same method and they look so pretty. Oh my gosh. Now for her tiara, I have this tiny crystal which came off from my sister's ring. Thanks, hun. I'll use the same embroidery thread for this, and also I'll paint it blue from the back side with acrylics. The wings. These will follow the same method with which I made Alina's wings: clear plastic sheets, iridescent organza. One thing I did differently here is that these are made as one piece since Alina had the wing mechanism, so 2 were needed separately. Same process, I super glue both layers of plastic sheets, let it dry, and then I'll glue the organza on both sides with white glue. The iridescent organza works better with white glue. Some types of organza need the glue stick method, but this worked perfectly. After this all is dry, I cut the shape and give it a coat of watered down white glue. This makes a nice ground for the later acrylic paint layers, and also it makes the wings very intact as well. I paint the wings with thin layers of acrylic paints, 2 coats on both sides. Then with a bit of a darker shade of blue and white, I paint the wing veins. I do this loosely, not too particular here. And also I glitterized them as well off camera, shine, shimmer and glimmer to the work. For her butterfly hair clip, I drew a pattern and did the same thing I did for the wings. Then I also added these rhinestones to make it more gorgeous. The shoes. The Silver Label doll by Mattel has the same shoes as the Playline Dahlia and Dandelion, but I wanted mine to be more luxurious looking, you know, so I decided to use the same metallic embroidery thread and make her fairy ruler slippers. I have these embellishment thingies, a round gold thing and a diamond shaped jewel. I'll attach these together, and this is the same thing which I will be using on her bodice 2 points you'll see later in the video. Here it is. I'll put some foam clay on the bottom of the slippers to finish them off. Now sewing the dress pieces together using my grandma's heirloom sewing machine. It keeps me feeling connected to her, which is a sweet thing, I guess. I'll clip in the seams and press them flat, and I also sew the tulle lining, which I'll attach to the satin piece, right sides facing. The dress base is almost done. The back is still open. I'll sew it later. Right now I'll sew the yellow panels. First I was going to use 1 layer of chiffon, but then when I did it, it was just too flimsy. So I decided to sew 2 layers together. And then I thought that that's it. But then I decided to put this gold coiled wire on the edges because the simple yellow felt too flat. After all, it's Enchantress we're talking about. She needs her fairy ruler bling, you know. I've cut out the collar pattern out of glue washed satin. Now I'm attaching the petals that I made earlier. When all of this dries, I'll paste another layer on the satin part to make it look neat. I'll hand sew the yellow panels onto the blue dress, both front and back. This is the finished result. I attached the waistline petals on the gold belt. The collar also done, the embellishments done. Face and head prep. Boiling water dunk. Cut the hair, clean the plugs on the inside, remove the factory paint, just the usual, you know. I started rehairing her off camera. It's saran hair. I'll reroot the entire hairline with a needle so I don't rip the vinyl because, you know, I've done that before. And the rest of the head, I'll do it with the rooting tool, which I'll do it sparsely, you know, for the hairstyle. Push the needle, put the hair, pull the needle, pull the plug. Now I'll do this process for ages and we'll be back with you shortly after that. Whoa, that was quick. Well, magic of editing, so. I sketch the face with a 3H pencil and then proceed with acrylic paints. I apply multiple thin layers of one color, and the face-up style, you know I love, the early 2000s, late 90s. I want her to have a very fairy-like face aesthetic, well of course, while staying minimal. So I use mica powder, my current favorite honestly. She has a lilac eyeshadow in the third movie and pink in the first one. That pink I didn't like though. And my battery ran out, so I painted the lips off camera. I'm sorry for that. But I'm gonna be giving her light blue lids and lilac brow bone, plus the iridescent mica powder. Well, because you cannot go without the iridescent shine. And also because, you know, Mattel just totally gave her the purple dress instead of her actual blue color, so I thought, you know, I can take some artistic liberty here and at least give her a blue lid because I really am wanting to, so that's what I did. On camera, I made the brow bone area a bit bluer, but then I changed it to a lilac color later. Now I add the final shimmer to her lips, cheeks, nose, cupid's bow. It's very subtle and that's absolutely how I love it. This is the face all done. Again, the blue brow bone, I changed it later. I hope you enjoyed the process and like the end result. I hope I did justice to everyone's faith in me here. So the next custom will be Nori from Mermaidia, as she won. But don't forget to vote under this video between Mermaid Alina and Rosella from Island Princess for the video that will come after Nori. If you liked my take on the Enchantress, do share your thoughts in the comments below. With that said, thank you so much for watching, liking, and commenting. Don't forget to vote. I will see you very soon with Nori in my next one. Peace.